Britain's...
In addition to my duties in this House, I will have further such meetings later today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Monday was Holocaust Memorial Day, when we remember those who suffered under Nazi persecution. During this dark time, Britain stood out as a beacon of hope, and 10,000 Jewish children came here with the Kinder transport. When his government rejected Lord Dubb's amendment on unaccompanied child refugees, Britain's beacon dimmed. Will the Prime Minister now devolve powers over immigration to Holyrood to allow Scotland to be that beacon of hope?
Well, there's the first mistake right away, comparing Jewish refugees to economic migrants. You want immigration controls devolved, and your heartfelt plea that you give to try and reinforce your argument is bringing up Jewish refugees from eras gone by. Off to a great start.
Mr. Speaker, I think she does a disservice to this country's reputation and to its record, because we have not only taken 41,000 children, unaccompanied children, since 2010, but I think this whole country can be very proud of everything that we continue to do to commemorate the Holocaust and what took place then.
Bill Wiggett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Scotland, of course, has been dragged out of the European Union against our will. We hope our European friends will leave a light on for Scotland.
Who unironically reiterates what Alan Smith said.
Mr. Speaker, during the EU referendum, the Chancellor for the Duchy of Lancaster said that when it comes to immigration, it would be for the people of Scotland to decide.
That's right.
Mr. Speaker, on Monday, the Scottish Government published its plans for a Scottish visa, doing just what the Right Honourable Member promised Scotland should be able to do. Before the ink was even...
It's not Scotland that would be deciding who and who does not come into this country. It would be the SNP. So all this gibberish that these people love to throw about the place to try and stir up division, to try and stir up this fake semblance of patriotism and or nationalism, this gaff about people in Scotland being sovereign, the people of Scotland having the right to choose, or in this case, the people of Scotland having the ability to choose or have control over the immigration powers. It's not us that decide who and who does not come into this country. It is the SNP. Or it would be, hypothetically speaking. I'm really trying to bite my tongue, because the stuff I've been reading in the past few days from the shower of For example, take this. This is from The Guardian. Nicola Finlips calls for Rainbow Unicorn Land to have its own immigration powers. Now, there's a YouTube channel called We Got a Problem, and I quite like his stuff. But he did make a fundamental error. He thought Nicola Finlips contradicted herself in this argument, but in actual fact, and I don't like to blow my own trumpet here, she proved me to be 100% correct. It's down here. Sturgeon said, ending freedom of movement from within the EU would harm the UK as a whole, but would be uniquely damaging for Scotland's economy and public services because it is particularly vulnerable to population decline. A common UK-wide approach to immigration simply hasn't worked in Scotland's interest for some time now. So, the point that he made in his video was that she contradicted herself in the sense that on the one hand she's complaining about the ending of freedom of movement because it will be damaging, but then on the other hand she's saying that the UK-wide approach to immigration simply hasn't worked in Scotland's interests. But that's the point. The only thing that would be different in handing them their own immigration powers is that they would be able to attract not just people from the European Union, but from wherever they wanted in the world. And that's what they've been wanting to do for some time now. The New Scots. Anyway, on page number 1 of their Migration Helping Scotland Prosper, rather proves the point for me. How many Europeans do you see in Scone now? So, let's see this shit. Scotland is a welcoming and inclusive nation. And we value everyone, no matter where they were born, who have chosen to make Scotland their home. In fact, we value them so much that we have eroded the idea of there ever being a Scottish native population. I know, in fact, we've made it so invaluable. We've allowed anybody to be able to waltz into Scotland and become Scottish. I don't get this. To raise their families. Oh, so the Scottish birth rate's declining, so we need immigrants to come in to raise their families. Seeing the connections starting to formulate here. On the one hand, we've got Nicola Bullcut Thin-Lipped Sturgeon, who loves to sprinkle her stardust in Rainbow Unicorn Land in her fucking throne, talking about, we want Scotland to be the best place for children to grow up. And you've got, we want immigrants to raise their families. They don't see Scotland as attractive enough. Well, let's entice them over. But all the SNP diehard fanboys, the queer hawks. Oh, it's so marvellous. This is wonderful. What a great woman. What a great woman. Migration to Scotland supports the economic growth and the delivery of public services. And public services wouldn't be under such strain if there wasn't such limits of immigration. Who knows, but I've heard some rather dark stories about Glasgow. White flight, that's where my father comes from. He's an arsehole, but the point remains the same. I remember going down there when I was a lot younger. Glasgow being Glasgow, now apparently it's a right shithole. It helps to address the serious issue of long-term demographic change. And who's responsible for this demographic change? The Scottish Government's social engineering. That's one of the reasons. And if they're so concerned about demographic change, why are they promoting the LGBT? Why are they promoting feminism? Why are they promoting anti-white hatred? Why are they promoting everything that is considered abnormal? Indoctrinating children to get the girls to grow up to be little feminist activists, to get the boys to grow up to be their gay if they could, but just get the boys to grow up wet rags, essentially, consumed by white guilt. All of our future population growth is projected to come from migration. Here's the lie again. How can a projection show this when you don't have control over immigration? It is a lie. I don't get this. Whether that's from the rest of the UK, the EU, or internationally, so you've got projections to show. No, you've got projections to suggest that all of the population growth is going to come from immigration, but you don't have projections to say how that immigration or who that immigration would encompass. It will impact on the size of our working age population. Yes, let's just replace the native Scots, you thin-lipped boot. Migration is an issue which is crucial for our future and social well-being. We need a solution that meets Scotland's needs and allows our communities and our economy to flourish. Fuck you. We are a nation which has been shaped by migration. Oh, here we go. We're a nation of immigrants. We're a nation that's been shaped by migration. But in the past, that has meant many of our young people leave Scotland to build a future elsewhere. Our experience of migration throughout much of the 20th century is distinctly different to that of the rest of the UK. Is it? Scotland is one of only 4 European countries to have had a smaller population in 2001 than it had in 1971. Yes, but you've just said that many of our young leave for pastures new. It's not as if there isn't Scottish diaspora out there that I would be looking to attract here before I look to fucking Africa. Sorry for the swearing, but this stuff really riles me up because they disguise it under this pretext of wanting to continue EU freedom of movement, but it's nothing to do with that. Scotland is now a nation in migration with a growing population thanks to Nicola Thinlips and Chubcake Fiona Hislop. Might have known she'd make an appearance. People from the EU, EEA and Switzerland have been able to choose and work here as a result of freedom of movement. And just like the person at the beginning of this video talking about decades gone by, stop talking about EU freedom of movement when we know what this is about. Boris Johnson the same. We're going to make it easier for our African friends. What do you think Nicola Thinlips wants to do? Population, here we go again. Population projections show that deaths are expected to outnumber births in every one of the next 25 years, and the gap is widening. There could be over 18,000 more deaths than births in Scotland. And what are you doing about it? What the fuck are you doing? Nothing. Scotland is not the only country facing such demographic pressures. Of course, how convenient. Many other nations are facing similar issues. Exactly, further proving my point. So how are you going to be able to entice people from other European countries if they're facing the same issues? The establishment of the Parliament was designed to allow distinct solutions. And they should be stripped away from Nicola Sturgeon. This woman and this party are a danger to this country. A real, imminent danger to this country. We have worked closely, there was a cross-party consensus in the Parliament on the benefits about the benefits that migration has brought to Scotland. You've just after said in the Guardian article that, a UK-wide approach to immigration simply hasn't worked in Scotland's interest for some time now, suggesting that you've not seen a lot. So how can you talk up the benefits of immigration when you've not seen them at the levels of England? Jesus, man. Here we go. We've worked closely with employers, trade unions, elected representatives and individuals to develop proposals to suit Scotland's needs. Yes, because you're going to do all the decision making, aren't you? And we just have to fucking suffer. We have looked closely at international models. Jesus. We have looked closely at international models to learn about what works in delivering a tailored approach to migration. Yes. Emulate Canada. Yes, go for it. They're having a great time, aren't they? We are proposing a cohesive, fucking words, man, evidence-based approach. What evidence? What the UN told you to, Sturgeon. These people are in no position to talk about evidence when they're parting BS about climate change on a regular basis. That it meets the needs of all the country. As the world becomes more interconnected, people need to move across the international boundaries for work and for learning. Do the eye. What? Globalisation? What? That's a fact, is it? That's a fact. This includes international students that we pay for, researchers, artists, performers. Yes, we need the performers here. We need them all. We need the artists and the performers. What fucking great, what a great contribution they'll make. People who want to grow their career and indeed just to experience life and work in a different culture. Yes, they can do that, but they fuck off home after. Yeah, our immigration system is a bar to this. Oh, get in the bin. Scotland can do better. Yeah, we don't look quite like France yet. The current immigration system does not meet Scotland's need. We need a tailored migration which allows our communities to thrive. Fuck me. Scotland has distinct demographic and geographical needs. Freedom of movement has had a positive impact on Scotland. Is that so? A common UK-wide approach to immigration simply hasn't worked in Scotland's interests. Which one is it? Unfortunately, the UK government is committed to leaving the EU. Oh, unfortunately. Oh, it's such a bummer. And ending free movement of people. As a result, the UK will need a new immigration system. Furthermore, it's clear that even in the UK, we're not to leave the EU, or free movement were to continue. The current immigration system is not fit for purpose. Oh, so if we stayed in the EU and allowed the EU freedom of movement to continue, you still want devolved immigration powers. That's proving my point, suggesting this has nothing to do with Pete from Germany. Oh no, it's about this guy and his African diaspora brethren.